everybody, let's talk about the long-awaited sequel to The Strangers. The Strangers Pray at Night. This came out 10 years after the first one, and this one is written and directed by somebody completely different, although the original writer and director is producing this one, so he had some involvement. But yeah, this one seems to be loved more by the horror community than the first one. Maybe not, I don't know, I see a lot more praise for this one, but the Rotten Tomatoes score says otherwise. The first one's more popular with critics than the second one, and I think it's because the second one is more of a slasher. The first one's more psychological horror movie, just disturbing and dark. This one, while a little, dark and disturbing at times, seeing, certain people get killed the way they get killed, it's more of a slasher movie. It's more violent, it's more brutal, it's got more blood, it's got a higher body count, and critics don't like that shit. But I eat it up. I really like this movie. I am one of those people that say that this one is better than the first one. I don't think it's way better, but I think it's better. It's more entertaining, it's more rewatchable, so I do prefer this one over the original. But yeah, so let's get into it. What are my likes for this movie? I really, really like the 80s pop soundtrack. This whole movie really just feels like a love letter to 80s slashers. It feels like this director wanted to make an 80s type of slasher, and that's what we got here. We got an old school soundtrack here, some beautiful cinematography, lots of misty fog in some scenes. The way the movie's shot, it's a lot more cinematic and bigger budget looking and feeling than the first one. This one it looks better overall, and it's beautiful, and I love the pool scene. I just love all the flashing lights, the colorful lights. It's a colorful, beautiful movie, very well shot, lots of good imagery in the film. I love the shot of the burning car going down the road. It's very pristine, and I like that. What we do different here than the first movie is we got a family this time. But just like the first movie, this is a family that's not perfect. They're, going through some stuff right now in this movie. They got the daughter who's the typical, bad girl who's skipping class and shit, and they're going to send her off to boarding school. You got the son, Luke, who plays baseball, and I like the way these characters are set up. So we got some good characters here that you can root for. They feel like a real family going through real life drama, and we actually get some setup to these characters. That's something that people complain about for the first movie, is that, Liv Tyler and Scott Speedman, you don't really get to know them all that much. You just know that there was a rejected proposal, and that's why they're all upset, but we don't really get to know them. It just kind of starts off very quickly, the invasion. But in this one, we get a good 25 minutes after the opening of just the family and their drama and shit. And some people might not like that, but I think it's necessary to set up the characters. And I like that this movie is much more bloody, much more violent. We got a higher body count here. The first one really only maybe one or two people died in that one. One of them was killed by not even the killers. There was more killers in that movie than freaking protagonists. How many movies can you name where that's a situation? In this one, we got a lot more people here to pick off one by one. So I like that. And I like all the little nods to other classics. There's just little things in here. I was like, that reminds me of that movie. And some of them are a little bit more obvious. Like one that feels very Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And like I said already, Christine, that feels like something out of Christine. So I like all that stuff as a horror fan. The acting is very good. Bailee Madison does a terrific job. She has to basically be in a frightened state throughout over half the movie, so that can't be easy. She's constantly screaming or crying and in pain and crawling around, and that can't be easy. So kudos to her. She does a really good job. As for any dislikes, just like the first movie, this one also suffers from some very dumb character decisions that just irk me when it happens. I won't get into too much detail here. I will save that for my spoiler discussion. But this one, just like part one, there's just certain scenes that you're just ugh, why are they doing this? Why won't they do this? And it's just like, come on. Like, especially the moment where they have somebody at gunpoint and they just won't pull the trigger right away after everything they just did. It's like, what? No, pull the trigger. And this one also has some, old school horror tropes in it. Stuff like the car won't start and this and that. It's got all these little tropes in it that just also kind of bug me. So those are the only things I really don't like about the movie. So outside of that, I really enjoyed the movie. Final thoughts. I think this is a damn good sequel. We got characters that fight back, actually. I forgot to talk about that in my positives. These characters fight back. They do damage to the three masked killers in this movie. So I love that. And like I said, it's just a beautifully shot movie, great soundtrack, good performances, and it's just a fun, like, throwback slasher. This is definitely more of a slasher than the first movie. So if you're a slasher fan, I think you'll enjoy this movie. But if you're looking for something that's more psychological, clever or anything like that, something to make you think, this isn't going to be up your alley. This is more of a fun movie to watch. So when it comes to Strangers Prey at Night, I recommend that if you're a slasher fan, definitely get this one, add it to your collection, go out and buy it. So this movie opens up saying, based on true events, just like the first movie. But again, how true are these events? I seriously doubt this is exactly what happened beat for beat at a trailer park. So we got, I think, the same truck from the first movie. It looks very similar, but it's not damaged anymore. So I'm guessing they got repairs done. And then we got the worst guard dog ever. This old couple has this like German Shepherd, and it doesn't do shit. It just sits there awake looking at its master get killed. So this is a terrible guard dog. And really, the dad doesn't know what queef is. Come on, really? You don't know what queef is? It's the one silly joke of the movie. He's like, what's queef? And that's the guy from The Ring, the American remake. And then the mom is from a lot of movies too, but I saw her recently in A Neon Demon, which is a terrific movie that you should check out. Not for everybody, but a very beautiful, stylized movie from a really good director. So check out The Neon Demon if you haven't seen that. And just like the first movie, in this one, we got the knock at the door as soon as they're like loving each other and hugging, like in a warm embrace. In the first movie, they're like about to have sex, and that's when the knock at the door happens. In this one, they start to hug, and then it's like bad timing. It's like they only want to kill you when you're loving each other. And it actually happens twice in this movie. And the second time when it happens, they're like hugging each other, kissing each other on the neck and shit, and boom, knock at the door. And just like in the first movie, she says the classic line, "Is Tamara home?" And I still don't know who the hell Tamara is. Why Tamara? Of all people. I feel like if we get a third movie, they're going to explain who Tamara is. So, and then after that, they find their dead uncle and aunt. And this is like the same day, right? This is like the next night after they got killed in the opening, and their corpses already smell like as soon as they walk in, they're like, oh god, and there's like flies everywhere. I'm not sure how realistic that is. I didn't think corpses would smell that bad so quickly after dying less than 24 hours ago, but I could be wrong. And then all their phones get broken, so they're explaining why they can't call 911 right away. You gotta do that in slasher movies nowadays. You always gotta explain why they can't just call. They leave their cell phones in the trailer and they get smashed up. So Dollface, I guess she grabbed the one and only knife in that trailer kitchen. I mean, usually there's more than one knife in the kitchen. And then the mom dies and she like doesn't even put up a fight at all. She's just looking at her daughter up on the roof. She's like, go, run. It's like, she's already on the roof. Why are you still just like looking up at her for 10 extra seconds as the woman behind you is stabbing you? Like, it would have been much better for me if she just would have turned around and at least tried to fight a little bit, just a little. Come on, act like you care about living, all right? And then we hear the voicemail, so I guess that explains why they stuck around. It's because of the mom leaving that voicemail, like, hey, we're going to be there at some point, so stick around. So it's because of the mom that they're all fucked. Then here's another stupid character decision. It's the dad warning the baghead guy that he has a gun. Why would you do that? You just got rid of the element of surprise. You could have waited for the guy to get close to you with an axe, pulled out the gun, and shot him in the face. Boom. Movie over. Not really, because there's two more, but you know what I mean. Like, seriously? I got a gun. I'm going to count to 5. And it's like, he does something with his voice. His voice is like cracking. 4, 3, and then he's counting down. Like, this is when I'm going to shoot you. Like, giving him this big time gap to like run away. He's giving all this warning, like, you're an idiot. And then another trope here that happens in a lot of movies is something crashes into the car. He throws like a cinder block at the windshield, and instead of just like pumping the brakes or just keeping the car going straight, he just jerks the wheel and then keeps the car in that direction that he jerked the wheel towards. Instead of correcting course, he just keeps it in that direction, keeps going, and drives straight into a trailer. And now he's pinned and stuck in the car by a piece of wood. He's got like a plank right in his stomach, so he's stuck in there like the girl in Final Destination 2. And really, come on. Why do that? It always bugs me. It happens in every fucking movie. They always crash the car. I get it. From a writing standpoint, it has to happen. All right, otherwise the movie would be over. So, and then we get a cool introduction to Pinup Girl when she's in the tunnel and the car pulls up and you just see Bailee Madison and she's like, "Why are you doing this to us?" or "Stop." And then the girl pops up and says her line, and that was a pretty cool like reveal of her. That was the first time we saw her in this movie. Then we get the part where the dad gets killed. He gets stabbed in the throat with the ice pick by Baghead, who's just sitting in the car. I like the scene because I like that he just gets in the car again, just like the first movie. In this one, they're toying with them. They're just purposely taking their time. He's turning on the radio. He wants to listen to some jams as he's killing. Everyone has like their workout playlist. He's got his killing playlist. He just turns on the radio and stabs him in the throat. And I don't know. I feel like this could have been a much more brutal kill. He could have stabbed him and then just kept stabbing him again and again and again. But it was just, the one stab in the throat. It's fine. It's very mean-spirited, but it could have been even more mean. So yeah, then we get this. This is the most annoying scene in the movie that I can't look past. It's lazy writing when you think of it. Come on, no one would do this. So I don't know. Maybe I don't know anyone who would not shoot someone in the face after everything they've been through. I don't know anyone like that. You got Dollface right in front of you, who you just saw stab your sister repeatedly. She's like slicing at her. She stabs her leg. I think, does he know at that point that his mom's dead? Yeah, he knows his mom's dead. And this one right in front of him is probably the one that did it, and he doesn't shoot her. It's like, really? No. Unacceptable. That's the one scene in the movie that really pisses me off. So that should have been done differently. They could have had it to where, as soon as he gets her at gunpoint, Bailee Madison quickly runs towards him so he can't shoot right away because, the sister stands up and is hopping towards him. And then as soon as he's about to pull the trigger after the sister, is next to him and out of, his, line of fire, that's when the truck comes in. Like, leave no time there. Why linger there and just make him look like an idiot for hesitating so long? And the sister's like, "Just give me the gun. I'll do it. I'll do it." So, yeah, listen to her. She's got the right idea. And then, the truck crashes into the trailer, and then I wrote this down. I don't know why. Slush puppies. We see slush puppies in the convenience store, and I just want to talk about how fucking disgusting slush puppies are. They are the worst. Like, they're not even a fucking treat. They don't deserve to be in any store. They're disgusting. It's like drinking cough medicine. Who likes slush puppies? So then he kills Pinup Girl. Great. Now he's smart. He gets the golf club. He just whacks her over the head. And then he just starts stabbing her again and again. The way he's stabbing her is kind of just like wimpy. Like, he's like, eh, eh. It's like, he should be like, "Fucking get you." But he's just like, I don't know. It looked weird. But he's stabbing her at least, so I like that. And then he's like, how's that fucking feel? Love that line. Like, I feel like that's something I would say. Like, that feels like me in that moment, and he shares my name. So he's me in that moment. Luke is doing the right fucking thing. He's stabbing her again and again, and he's like, how's that feel? That is something I would say. And then we get one of the best scenes in the movie. We got the pool fight, and I love the way the music's edited, where when he goes under the water, the sound kind of drowns out realistically. So I like that song too, and just him getting stabbed and the visual of him just like floating in a bloody pool. Very good visuals in the movie, like I said earlier. Very good cinematography. It's just a beautifully shot movie. And then the cop shows up, and just like in most movies, this is another trope, the cop always dies instantly. Like, wrong turn. They show up and they're killed instantly. The woman just sneaks up and slices his throat, and he drops dead instantly. And then the girl, Bailee Madison, she gets the shotgun and then shoots her right in the freaking chest twice. So this is one tough girl. Dollface, like, most people in movies like this, they would get killed. If it was the protagonist who got shot by the shotgun like that, they'd be dead. But because she's the bad guy, she has to get shot twice to die.
Why are you doing this? Why not?
Just like the first movie, we get that question, why are you doing this to us? And I feel like this movie kind of one-ups the first movie. Like, we get a better response. The first one, it was because you were home. And in this one, it's why not? That's an even better response. Like, she's 2 for 2, that lady. And I found it kind of silly that these cars don't have airbags. Like, he just keeps crashing into this cop's car, and neither the car or the truck, their airbags never deploy. And also, like, she gets in the cop car and it won't start. It's a brand new car. Nothing has happened to it yet at that moment, and it won't start. Again, horror trope. Can't stand it. And then, so then she blows up the truck with Baghead in it, and he's still driving around. Like, it looked like in one shot it was completely destroyed, but then when it's driving around, it's like less on fire and less destroyed. It's still operable, and still, you can still drive it around. Like, get the fuck out of here. And then, like, he gets out of the car, and he's like chasing her down the road with the car. He's still toying with her. He could run her down and kill her, but he won't. He, like, swerves around her. He's going out of his way not to kill her right away. Even when he's half burnt, he's still taking his time. He is committed. And then, like, I found it kind of, this is a little nitpick, but why is it that his face is half burnt? His hands are both fried also. He's pulling the glass out of his stomach. But his outfit from neck to toe is perfectly fine. It doesn't look burnt or charred. Just a nitpick, just something I want to point out. Like, he should be burnt. Why is just half his face and his hands, like, burnt? Maybe because the flames shot through the windshield and that was what was exposed? Maybe, I don't know. I just answered my own question. Who knows? It's just a stupid thing I wanted to point out. But then we get the Christine moment. She's going down the road, fiery car chasing after her. And then she gets in the back of a truck, very Texas Chainsaw Massacre. He shows up, he's swinging an axe, and she grabs the baseball bat and smacks him over the head. And she's just screaming at the camera as they're driving away. Very Sally in Texas Chainsaw. Great ending. But then we get this extra scene to show that, Luke is still alive, but she's still kind of fucked up mentally. Like, she's not going to recover from this. She's going to need therapy. And, like, she hears, like, a Jack in the Box that she heard earlier that Dollface was messing with. She hears it in the distance, and then she hears a knock at the door, which is more than likely just a nurse knocking at the door. It's not Dollface. But yeah, so it was just one of those typical horror endings. Less scare, but it's fine. So yeah, but that's how the movie ends. I feel like I talked about everything, so yeah, there you go. Those are my thoughts on The Strangers Pray at Night. What did you think about this sequel? Do you like it more than the first one? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, if you like what you see here, you can hit this like button and become a subscriber today just by clicking on my cartoon face in about 5 seconds. And until next time, Auf Wiedersehen.